on this. Did you hear that? Still
Mhm.
recording fire.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's get started. Welcome back, guys, to another episode of Conversations with Athletes. My name is Abel, and today I have a very special guest with me. He's a senior Olympic weightlifter, and he is competing for the U.S. national team for Olympic weightlifting. Introduce yourself, Nate Cerwinske.
Hi, what's up, guys? Well, first off, man, thank you for having me on. And so yeah, my name is Nate Cerwinske. I'm a senior Olympic weightlifter, new to the senior ranks. I've been weightlifting for about 7 years now, and started off just trying to get stronger for football. Eventually, fell in love with it, and thought I'd be better at it than football just because of my size, and kind of just been doing it ever since. And I've made 3 junior teams, 1 junior world team, 2 junior Pan Am teams, and currently I'm just trying to climb the ranks to the senior level, and get onto a international senior team. And aside from weightlifting, I do run a YouTube channel, kind of following my whole journey and whatnot, and kind of throw in some different things about my life, just kind of all about that. So yeah, that's basically what I've been doing for a while now.
That's very cool. And I've known you from a certain YouTube video that you did post, which was very cool. It got over 1.5 million hits, views, and would you say that grew? Tell us about the YouTube video. What was it about?
So basically, I'd seen, I'm pretty sure a lot of people especially in the weightlifting community, know who Clarence Kennedy is. He had done videos where he just goes into a commercial gym and just works out, and people in the gym are like, what the hell is going on? Like, this is crazy. But even though I'm nowhere even near Clarence's level, I figured my style of video, my style of making videos, I could combine it, and it could be something new and fresh and something people would enjoy. Because Clarence kind of just sets up the camera, is very quiet. I kind of like to add some of the gym bro douchey comedy intertwined with it. So yeah, one day me and my friends were just shot a commercial gym video like that. The first one was at EOS. That did pretty well for my channel at the time. And then it's hard to film them all the time just because I don't want to interrupt training. So I have to kind of wait for the perfect opportunity. And then the gym was closed that day for the second time I wanted to film it. So we decided to film it that day, and I was kind of going back and forth for filming it because I'd just been through a hard few weeks of training. I kind of just wanted a rest day. And so yeah, we went to ASU, the college I go to, Arizona State University's gym, and just filmed it. And it was a lot of fun, but however, it felt like I didn't get as good of reactions as the first video. But however, when I just edited it and then threw it together, put it on YouTube, it started off kind of slow, but then all of a sudden it was just getting like 40,000 views every like 8 hours. And when I posted that video, I was at like 3,000 subscribers, and then within like 2 months I was already at 10,000 subscribers. So I think that singular video definitely helped propel my channel to plant the seed for like growth, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so it was a very cool video. I'll put a link in the description below if you haven't seen it already. It's just him banging some serious weights, like snatch balancing 160, clean and jerking. How many? 165 was it?
Yeah, I did 165 that day.
Yeah, that. Okay. Anyways, all right. So why did you get started with Olympic weightlifting, and when? I know you said during football, during high school, but When and why specifically?
Well, it's funny too, because even before weightlifting, my mom just started going to like this CrossFit gym, and then she was like, "Hey Nate, you should come do this." So I was like, you know what, why not? Like, I'll come work out. The guy who ran that ended up signing me up for. I've been going for a while. The guy who ran that gym ended up signing me up for a local meet, and I remember I was like, I just liked doing it just because I knew it was gonna help me for football. I didn't really want to have to wear a singlet and all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
And I did that meet and then qualified for youth nationals um after that. And then funny thing is too, I didn't even really want to go to youth nationals either. But then I got there and I saw like how good kids were, and I was like, what the heck? Like, kids are strong. And then especially that's when I started going down the rabbit hole on YouTube and finding all these like Liu Shaijun, everyone probably does, and Klokov. And then finding out about CJ Cummings, watching CJ Cummings lift, and I was just blown away. And then by the time I got back and finished out my football season, I kind of was burnt out with football because I've just been going into high school. There's a lot of preparation for it. So playing football my whole life and then finding weightlifting, being burnt out, kind of just was the perfect storm to just take a dive and go after something completely new. If that makes sense.
That's cool. That's cool. Um, yeah, I mean, well, when you said you went to your youth meet, and you saw all these other junior weightlifters around, did you feel that I'm like starting this is going to be a tough journey since I already have a lot of competition around me?
Yeah, I definitely was at a pretty low place on the totem pole. um, so, and I knew I was, and but something about it motivated me. Something about being at the bottom and doing everything I can to get up there and win medals and be competitive with the best people in the country. Something about that did really um, motivate me. So I knew it was going to be tough, and I knew it was going to take a long time. But I've just always stuck through it for the long run.
All right, cool. Cool.
Mhm.
I mean, yeah, so you definitely have had, you know, some, I would say, downs, and you've definitely worked your way back up to the top, right?
Mhm.
Obviously, looking back at those competitions, you felt like you've gotten stronger. But would you feel that, weightlifting is more of an individual sport? It's more about lifting against yourself. I know, again, you're lifting against others in competitions, trying to lift heavier against others. But do you think at the same time, like PRs, like personal records, do you think it's lifting against yourself?
Yeah, absolutely 100%, because at the end of the day, when you go on the stage or you're going after something, there's nothing in your way. Nothing is stopping you from doing it.
Yeah.
And um, you kind of have to think too, like something's not going to be on the bar that you're not capable of, unless your coach is kind of an idiot. You may be pushed, you may be asked to do something you've never done before, but it's not something that you're not capable of doing.
Yeah.
So honestly, the only people that, or the only thing that's in your way is yourself. And Coach Joe always says, um, when it's competition time, just comes down to who makes their lifts. I feel like people get way too caught up in what this person's doing, what that person's doing, this person's opening heavy, but it's like you shouldn't be looking around like, oh, this person looks good in their warm up. Like, did you see how fast he just did that? No, you should just be focusing on yourself. And um, because even if like coming down to like talking more about competition, because if someone's looking around the room, you can tell they're not focused on themselves. They're focused on everyone else, and um, it's just not a good thing to put into your subconscious. I think, so
Yeah.
it's definitely
Yeah.
individual. 100%.
Totally understand that. It's like, going to a meet, and looking at everyone else. But at the end of the day, you should just be focusing on your lift, right?
Yeah, exactly. And then even with I bet so many people struggle with this now because I even struggle with it too, is on Instagram. It's
Yeah,
not even people you see in person now. It's scrolling through Instagram because everyone posts every single second of their training now um,
yeah,
on Instagram. Um, so just seeing all that stuff can kind of get in your head as well. But I don't know, you just kind of got to block it out at the same time and focus on yourself. And that's when you'll find you're the most committed, you're the most happy, you're the most, energetic,
yeah,
whatever that may be. But
yeah.
so, yeah.
All right. So you mentioned Coach Joe, right?
Mhm.
Look, me watching your videos for a long time. But for others that haven't, I can tell that he has been a big part of your weightlifting journey, right?
Mhm. Yeah,
Um, who
very
is
big.
he? Introduce him.
So Coach Joe is um is a character. Um, so he's pretty much coached athletes at every level of competition. He's coached senior world team members. He's coached youth. He's coached everything under the sun. People from the local level all the way to the Olympics. I don't know if anyone listening is familiar with like Sarah Robles. He coached her at the 2012 Olympics in London and was the head coach for the women's team that Olympics. Um, so yeah, he's been around the sport longer than I've been alive. So yeah, he's had a big impact on my weightlifting career.
How do you go about to find him? How did you go about to find Performance One?
So I was training at this small CrossFit gym, and a guy by the name of Keith, um, he was coming every weekend or so to that gym to do technique classes. Um, and the guy named Keith was coached by Joe.
Okay.
So kind of through there, when I wanted to take it more seriously, Keith had talked to me about Joe. So after I remember after 2016 Youth Nationals, um, I was ready to take this a lot more serious, and I figured Coach was the guy to do it. He's taken so many Olympics. He has a whole resume. He he can really build people, and if anyone um, knows what I look like 6, 7 years ago, if you buy into his program and if you buy into his lifting philosophy and his coaching philosophy, if you buy into the gym, then he builds people. He really will build you up. So that that's kind of how I knew he was the guy.
That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, okay. So that's him, that he's part of a big journey, which is great because I feel that everyone should have a mentor with them, standing next to them, especially if they want to take it to the next level. And
Mhm.
do you say you have a good bond with him as a coach and as a student?
Yeah, he's definitely very understanding um when um when it comes down to it, like, because sometimes it's hard because you don't always want to communicate because you don't want to seem like you're sandbagging. You don't always want to say something is in pain, or you don't always want to say, you know what, like, I don't know if we should do this, maybe we should do it this way, which I think I had been kind of doing in the past just because I wanted to live up to a certain expectation. But now I think that I've proven myself that I'm committed. I've proven myself that I'm dedicated. I've proven myself that I can do what he asks of me. I think that gives me kind of the privilege to um, be an effective follower to him, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
So I'm not just standing by and being a yes man. Like, if I think something, I'll say it now. So I think our communication has gotten a lot better too. And And then obviously he he um he kind of kicks you in the ass when you need it. Like
Yeah.
if you're kind of slacking off, or if you're kind of not pushing to the level you could be, he'll definitely let you know that. And he's a competitor too. That's another thing that I really love. It's just like when it's competition time, and it's no laughing, it's no for fun. Like this is the go to step on throats. Like so that is another thing I love. He takes competition very serious. He treats this like it's a profession, not a hobby, because it is his profession. So yeah.
That's cool. That's cool. Okay, so yeah, I mean, he's gonna take you to somewhere. Where's the end goal for you? What is the end goal? What is the time where you say you lift up, you hang your lifting shoes, and say, you know what, I've done it all. I've done what I want to do. What is that end goal?
Um well, definitely, obviously, I think for many people the end goal is the Olympics one day. Um but with everything going on, it's all the scandals, all the corruption. It's sometimes you step back and think, do I even want to participate in something like this? It's when you kind of look at it on a deeper level, it can kind of become demotivating or even uninspiring to even want to be associated with something like that. And that's a problem I've been having recently, not only with just thinking about the IOC and the IWF, but just the culture of weightlifting in itself. Um, but what I found the cure to that is looking more intrinsically and thinking about the purpose weightlifting gives you to challenge yourself and to push yourself beyond something that you thought was capable of yourself, and to be able to translate that over to other areas of your life, I think will pay off dividends down the road. So I kind of look at it as just continue to be the best I can be and let the cards fall where they fall. And when I feel like weightlifting is taking too much more than what it's giving back, and
Mhm.
I'm ready for another stage in my life, that's when I'll probably put up the competition shoes. I still think I'll Olympic lift forever because it's it's good for you. It's a great exercise. It's a great way to stay strong and athletic. But as far as hanging up the competition shoes, it would definitely. I don't see it anytime soon though. So yeah,
Yeah, I mean, you're still what, 21, 22?
yeah, 21.
That is cool. All right. I mean, I wouldn't want to see you like live, like hang them up now. Like, obviously people that are like, have been, people that have supported like your family, Coach Joe, you know, we, all of the people that you love definitely want to see you go to that level at the
Yeah.
Olympics. And so
Mhm.
it'll
Yeah.
be a
And
shame and waste to hang them up now.
yeah,
Uh,
exactly.
yeah,
I had to sacrifice way too much already
yeah,
for to just end like that. Like too many injuries, too much time invested, even not playing football with like my best friends in high school, and having to like sit in the bleachers while they were playing. You, even though that was like my dream when I was younger, we're like, oh, we're all gonna play high school football together.
yeah,
So sacrifice that whole experience. So to do nothing with this would be a complete waste as well. So for
yeah.
sure, yeah.
What would you say is like, on the way to that dream, what would you say would be or was your greatest struggle that you faced or will face?
Um, I think um I would say injury, but I feel like with injuries there's a set way to kind of fix those, and they're preventable. But now like thinking about it deeper, I think it is loneliness. Um because weightlifting is very niche. You're not gonna find too many people that do it. But then from there, from those group of people that do it, you're not gonna find that many people that want to constantly bang their head on the wall every day to get an extra 5 kilos. in a year, or if that makes sense. So um, I think I, um, I have multiple lives I'm living, if that makes sense. I have a group of people that I'm interact with for YouTube. I have a group of people that I just interact with that are like my close friends and family, and then I have kind of the gym setting that I interact with, and just bouncing back between all those lives sometimes is exhausting. And I wish it could all just be together, so it's not feeling like I have to change constantly, or yeah. So that is probably the biggest struggle, because sometimes my closest friends and family are all hanging out one night, and it's like, frick, I want some beers. I want to just hang out and just hang in the moment and spend time with everyone. But no, like I have I have to worry about training. Like even yesterday, we had a Memorial Day grill, barbecue and stuff, and all of our close friends and family were over. And um, I told myself when this prep for the competition and national started that I wasn't gonna have one sip of alcohol. And I remember yesterday I just wanted to have fun and do what everyone else is doing, but I couldn't. I told myself I wasn't going to. So um, just moments like that, and then that kind of can make you feel lonely at times. So I think that's going to be the biggest struggle going to where I want to go.
So it's, obviously, like, let's just kind of relate this to everyday people. It's the people that want to enjoy life, but at the same time want to enjoy the fruits of success.
Hmm.
Especially competing in any sport. Not just weightlifting. It could be soccer, football, basketball, baseball. You know, they have to learn how to sacrifice. Is that what you're trying to say? It's like learning to be disciplined, knowing that, you know, I can have fun for the moment, in the moment, for this night, but that night could change everything forever. Like
Hmm.
it could, something potentially bad can happen that night, or it will set me back a few days of training, which can be very, crucial to my prep for this and that. And the goal can be long term, right? It can be, I want to play college football, I want to play college soccer. And some people have to, sacrifice some days of enjoyment
Hmm.
uh for that goal. Would you say that's a fair kind of say?
Oh, for sure, for sure. But then I think also too, people, I think with like hustle culture and this hard work stuff,
Yeah.
some people can get into a toxic mindset when of sacrificing too much when it's not necessary. Because I think people really need to start looking at the magnitude of certain situations. It's like, say I was 15 weeks out and next week is a deload week. You know what I mean? Yes, I'm gonna enjoy and have fun in the moment then, because the overall severity of the that night is not going to have a big impact. Whereas if I'm only 5 weeks out and I do it now, that could impact this week, and then I lose one week. So I think people need to start looking at balancing and figuring out, okay, what what does this mean to me now? Can I afford to do this? Um, so yeah. And then what else was I gonna say? Um, well, I can't remember. So
Yeah, no worries about it. All right, so how did you cope with all that struggle, of not being in the same friend group as some people and wanting all of them to be together so you can spend time with them together? How did you cope with that, or injuries, or any other tough struggles you've had?
um, I think honestly, I'm still trying to figure out a way to cope with it.
Okay.
Um, there's some times where I feel like it's kind of aligned, and I feel great, um, because it doesn't feel like I'm working. It feels like my work becomes my life, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
For example, like I feel like I'm a big person of community, so I think I need to just have a good group of people around me, and we're all looking to do the same thing. I think that would what would really help me feel this feeling of like emptiness, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
Because when I filmed that video in LA when I went to Bradley Martin's gym,
Yeah.
um, it was I remember feeling just so happy because I felt like we were all working towards one goal, but we were also it wasn't like, oh, from this time to this time I'm focused on YouTube and then I have to focus on the gym. It was like all kind of combined together and we're still hanging out at the same time. So it was like it just felt more natural. But yeah, definitely still really haven't found a way to cope with it yet or to solve it. So um yeah, we got some thinking to do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. That's perfectly fine, with you wanting to find a solution to, your struggle. But I guess some things just can't be solved, because it's the way it is. But, you know, it's totally cool. It's totally fine as long as we learn how to cope with that in the future and we see that it was something that we had to deal with in the
Yeah.
past for the future.
For
Cool.
sure.
So yeah, I want to talk about, obviously a bit controversial, but the 2024 Paris Olympics. Like, what is your say on it? Your take on it? What is, what would, like, it being the last one, can we call it Olympic weightlifting in the future? I'm just gonna call it weightlifting. Is there gonna be, is there gonna be the idea of Olympics for weightlifters in the future? What do you think?
Um, I think I don't know. I have a lot of mixed emotions, so I'm I'm just gonna kind of just go at it, I guess, in no rhyme or
You
order.
have made a YouTube video on it, right?
What was
Something
that?
along those lines. You have made a YouTube video on this kind of topic, on the corruption, the
Yeah,
doping and all that stuff. Yeah.
yeah,
That's a great video to watch. I'll put it down in the link in the description below as well.
yeah. That was kind of my rant on it. But first, I think because I heard from a bunch of people that this is what they did to wrestling a few years ago, and wrestling's still in the Olympics, so they think people are just stressing out for nothing. They're just trying to scare us. Another part of me thinks that it's good because I feel like our culture in weightlifting is very, very spoiled right now. There's like this elitist mentality that we're better than everyone because we snatch and clean and jerk and we don't bench and low bar squat. Um, I get that it can be a joke, but like I feel like people participating in the sport genuinely have that mindset, and that's just kind of the vibe you get. Um, so I think it would be good in one way for us to get kicked out of the Olympics to kind of settle everyone down for a bit. There's that way of looking at it, and then part of me is just also just doesn't even want to think about it because um, with everything that's already gone on, with all the penalties, all of the scandals, all of the money laundering, corruption, the list goes on. It kind of feels like no one actually has any control over this, and they're going to continue to do what they want to do. And again, the more you think about it, the more kind of demotivated and uninspired you get, and you can get frustrated. So I don't think it's the best solution just to totally ignore it, but I kind of try not to pay the most attention to it and just focus on myself. And then again, where the cards fall, the cards fall. Makes sense.
That's yeah, that makes sense. All
Yeah.
right, that's a great take on it. Okay, so before we finish, okay, obviously we've learned so much from you, and we've learned the journey that you've been through. We're gonna do a bit something fun. We're gonna do something called this or that. Okay, and you're just gonna choose whether this or that. All right.
For
Okay, first
sure,
one,
man.
Rico or Rogue?
Aliko all day.
Or is it just
Aliko
better?
all day.
Is it just
Um, yeah, I think so. I think Rogue stuff just feels cheaper. It
yeah,
does. It
yeah,
does.
yeah,
And
yeah.
I will say though, Alico is not off the hook either, because I think Alico stuff's getting cheaper too, because these plates in our gym that coach bought 20 years ago
Yeah.
still intact. But
Yeah.
then the plates that he's gotten 2 years ago,
Yeah.
bolts start falling out of them already.
Oh,
So
all right. Yeah. That,
newer equipment's getting
yeah.
cheaper, but
That makes sense. Nike or Adidas?
That's a very hard one as well, because I kind of wear both, but I'm gonna have to go. If I have to choose one forever, I'm gonna say Adidas.
Cool. Why? Because you have because right now you're using Adidas like weightlifting shoes, right?
I am, which I do really enjoy, but those are starting to break on me as well. But not as fast as the new Nikes have. But yeah.
Cool. Yeah. All right. Next one. AM training or PM training?
PM for sure. PM. I'm more woken up, have more food in me, have more water in me,
That's
and
true.
just feel more alert and ready to
Feel
go.
more like you can lift heavier, right?
Yeah, for that, because I feel
And
like
reap the
sometimes, yeah,
benefits after.
exactly,
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, because I
That's
feel
cool.
like sometimes in the AM,
Mhm.
um, I like rush to get ready and I rush to put food down. I just feel rushed the whole time. Whereas in the PM, I feel more set up, if that makes sense.
All right.
Yeah.
Pre-workout or post-workout recovery? Like protein shakes or pre-workout? Which one do you prefer?
Ooh, which one do I prefer?
Yeah.
Okay. I prefer pre-workout, but I feel like the post-workout's more beneficial, but I prefer
Yeah, of course. It doesn't taste as good, but I mean, it's good, right?
and it
All
makes
right.
you feel amazing. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. We're done there. Thank you so much, Nate. Obviously, I'm so glad to have you on. And I hope everyone learns from your journey. Even though they might not be associated with the sport of weightlifting, I hope they know that and learn that people go through things. As a junior slash senior weightlifter. All right. So thank you so much for having me. Yeah, I'm gonna stop the recording.